Hi everyone, how you going? It's Heather from True North Spirit Medicine here. How are you? Today I'm going to do the energy reading for March 2022. What a month it's been already. Well, it's the first today, so I shouldn't say that. But it's been a really interesting month since we spoke last time. So we're just going to tune in and see what we get for the people watching today on YouTube. Yeah. Got a funny feeling about this one. It's kind of interesting. Like sometimes I get a bit of a feeling about what's going to come before I start the reading. Sometimes I'm excited. Sometimes I'm, whatever. Whatever. um, yeah, and this one just feels, I don't know, interesting is the best way I can describe it. So we'll see what comes in. I feel like it's going to be big and powerful, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm just going to shuffle some cards first. And then we'll probably do the direct channel bit, so whatever, first, because I quite like that format for now. It might change in the future, but we'll see. Okay, I'll just get one more. Okay, so we've got 3 cards. I'll show them to you shortly. And I think they're in the right order again, which is nice. That happens sometimes. I'm just checking. Yep. Okay, good. Yeah, all right. I'm going to tune in and see what our spiritual teams have to say to us today for the month of March 2022. You are right, my child, it is big. What is happening on the planet is indeed large. In the grand scheme of things, from our higher universal perspective, this time on your planet, this time in space, this time within time, is indeed powerful, important, special, known, loved, and supported by us. It is a time that has been written about in many of the prophecies, the time of the eagle and the condor joining, the north and the south hemispheres joining. It is this time of transformation that you are now in. It is this time of transformation that is held in such glory and respect by us. It is with deep honoring that we come to you today and thank you for your service and thank you for all that you have done in this past month and in all of the years previous, and in fact, all of the lives previous to this that have brought you to be so open-hearted in this time on the planet now. We ask you to hold your ground. We ask you to hold each other's hands through these times that may seem difficult and challenging, terrifying and saddening. Please know that underneath the power of humanity is a great upswelling of love, a great upswelling of compassion, and a great upswelling of the desire for peace. More so now than ever before on your planet. Even more than the hippies of the 60s and the free love of the 70s. It is like that feeling of rainbows and flowers over war and guns. It is similar to that now, the edge of a renaissance. But this time it is more powerful than then. It is more powerful than 40 or 50 years ago. And the reason it's more powerful is because of you. all of the yous that you have been and all of the yous that are to come, who have added their piece to the puzzle of this universal play of light. Please know that you are strong enough for this, each in your own ways, in your own individual lives, holding as much love and compassion and kindness in your hearts for those around you. All of those drips of water form the pond, which form the river, which form the lake, which form the oceans, which surround all of the planet and surround each of you. We watch all of this from afar, but yet we are so close. All you need to do is to summon us, to ask for our guidance, to ask for our care, to ask for us to show you the way forward through the mist and the fog, into the lightness of your heart, into believing and seeing and knowing and feeling deep within your soul that peace on this planet is indeed here. Peace on this planet is indeed possible. All you must do is hold that highest timeline, as they say, that highest vibration of love and compassion for you and your fellow neighbours. All you have to do is that, and that's what makes the difference. Regardless of your situation, regardless of your circumstance, regardless of those who surround you who may not see through this veil as clearly as you do. Walk with peace in your hearts. Walk with comfort and support and great love in your soul from all of us to all of you. We are watching carefully in these trying times. We are holding you so gently in our vast, vast hands of love. We see you all. We feel you all. We know you all. And we know that you've got this. Many blessings to you all. Much peace to you all. And much, much love to every single one of you. Know that you must just ask for us to come, and we will come to you too, as easily as they come to me. Thank you. Well, that was interesting. That's cool. That was really cool. Thank you, everybody. Woo-hoo. I'm sure you felt that. I know I did. Obviously. Comes through me, remember? Through me, not of me, through me. So I allow myself to be this channel and to let that council of elders, as I call them, to come close and come through and bring those messages for you. And for me as well. That's for me as well. It's really beautiful to feel that support and love and comfort and kindness and love. I said love twice, but I meant to. Yeah, it's really nice. I really like doing these videos, you know. Sometimes I don't feel like it. Before I start, I'm going to get dressed and put some makeup on. But today I was kind of excited. But yeah, I had that kind of really, it was like, all I could say was interesting. It feels like it's going to be interesting. I don't think they've channeled that long for you on these videos yet. I'm not sure. And I know that's the first time that they said their name. Or what I call them. I've been calling them that for years. I just haven't told you. Yeah. It's a really good time, before we get to the cards, it's a really good time to practice tapping into your own psychic development or your own spiritual development. I don't know if I've said that on these videos before. I've definitely said it in the newsletters, and I've definitely said it in the private readings that I do. Find a community if you can. I know there's online groups that meet and meditate and assist you with this. I do teach psychic development workshops, but not at the moment because the whole COVID thing is still stopping that. And I don't really see that. I don't know, some people do them online. That doesn't feel right to me. But I know that there's meditation groups and the spiritual churches. They're not religious, even though they have the word church in the title. Spiritual churches all around do psychic development classes, spiritual development classes, and meditation groups. 11:11 on the clock. Yeah, so if you can, and if you feel like you want to surf this wave a bit more, then they are good places to start, I would suggest. Okay, they just wanted me to tell you that before we got to the cards. Okay, so the cards. We are using the Kyle Gray deck again today. I've got a few decks with me, but this one really wanted to be used. I'm pretty sure I used it last month as well. So sometimes I kind of want to mix it up, but this feels like, of the cards that I have with me at the moment, this feels like the most kind of, I guess, grounded deck that I have. And I really felt like that's what was needed for this reading today for the month of March. Anyway, so I just went with it. So it's Angels and Ancestors Oracle cards by Kyle Gray, artwork by Lily Moses. I've showed this to you before. Yeah, it's a really lovely deck. The artwork is amazing. And I recently found out through a friend of mine that the artist, Lily Moses, lives on the Sunshine Coast, which is only a couple of hours north of me, which I didn't realise. So that's kind of nice. Okay, so I've got 3 cards, Shapeshifter, Mirror Guardian, and Mountains. And again, I'll post these. I'll take a photo of each of them and I'll post them on the Facebook and the Instagram page. All of that's under True North Spirit Medicine. So, Shapeshifter, transform and unveil your gifts. They said something about transformational energy in that first bit. I don't really remember what it was though, anyway. So there's a dude with an eagle and a wolf, maybe a serpent and a moon. Shapeshifter. Really powerful shamanic energy in this card again. Wolf and eagle are known as sort of 2 of the highest vibration animal medicine or animal guardians that you can have. Oh, I just noticed he's got 2 different coloured eyes as well. All right, so I'm just going to ask what they want to say about this card. They're laughing, going, lots. And they're just showing me like it's like a ball kind of rolling over and over, and with each roll, it's like almost like the face of a dice or a die. Even though a ball doesn't have faces, but it's like spinning through different faces. Does that make sense? That wasn't very clear, sorry. So imagine a ball spinning, and on each sort of face of the ball as it spins, there's a different picture. Yeah, just spinning, 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 like a Rubik's Cube or a dice, but it's a ball. And they're not numbers or colours, they're far more intricate. They're images like this, I suppose, a bit like this. There's different sort of complex, beautiful images on each of those faces of the ball. Indeed, now is time for great transformation, and indeed now is time for great flexibility. I feel like that's a key word for this month of March, is flexibility. A lot of great movement of humanity, as we know, particularly in Eastern Europe and in my corner of the world where there's flooding happening. So there is a great deal of movement and a great deal of sudden and surprising movement. So these thousands of people who have been displaced, literally thousands of people that have been displaced, millions in fact, in the last week is I want to say causing, but it's not quite the right word, but causing this great shift to be propelled forward faster. Okay, so causing is the right word. It didn't make sense when I started to say it because I didn't have the rest of the sentence. Yeah, that's really interesting. That's really interesting. And if we look at what's happening on the ground when people need to flee, there's a lot of support. There's a lot of support, there's a lot of compassion, there's a lot of grief and sadness and stress and turmoil, but there's a lot of support. Here in my little corner of the world, in southeast Queensland, there's been really bad floods, you know, a couple of hours north and a couple of hours south driving time. Cities, towns, neighbourhoods, like underwater. And at the same time, communities are coming together. You can stay with me, I'll come with my mop and my broom and I'll help clean up, and just, it's like an army of helpers mobilising. And I see from the news that the same thing's happening, particularly in Poland, where they are welcoming these Ukrainian refugees across the border. Soup kitchens and piles of donated clothing and blankets and temporary accommodation being erected, and you know, volunteers pretty much running all of it, and mostly women and children because the men have to stay behind. It's quite phenomenal, and they're reminding me of that astronomy. You know, I studied astronomy at uni for a while when I first went to uni, and I used to get in trouble from my lecturers all of the time for getting astrology and astronomy mixed up, and then scientists would get all offended. And I'd be like, yeah, but before Galileo, they were the same science. It was Galileo that went, no, science is one of the people. He was one of the astronomers that said science and spirituality have to be in two different camps. Shows how wrong he was. But yeah, I still have to think about astronomy or astrology. It's often just abbreviated to astro, so I don't get it wrong. But yeah, there's remember from last month's newsletter or other people that you watch, or I think they mentioned it in the video last month as well. There's a lot of really powerful astronomy happening at the moment. I don't remember all the names. I'm not an astronomer, but when I listen to them, I'm like, oh yeah, Pluto and Uranus are conjuncting for the first time in 500 years, or whatever it is. Excuse me. But there's a whole bunch of really benevolent planetary movements that are supporting us through this as well. They're saying the time is ripe for this. The time is right for this mass movement of humanity and this mass increase of compassion on the planet. Look at the pushback that's happening across borders, you know, against this sort of last gasp of the old energy, you know, 33% war, greed, competition, all of that kind of low vibration, low consciousness, grossness. It's being seen as so obvious to so many people now. You know, it's not just the hippies of peace, love and mung beans or whatever the, you know, phrases were from the 60s. It's everybody going, this is shit, we should stop it, you know. Yeah. And it's interesting, like this morning before I sat down to film this for you, the phrase, I'm in the right place at the right time, kept popping into my head. I use that as, I talk about it in the Playing in the Field workshop as one of the new mantras that are really good to say daily. And it's one of the ones that I use often. But particularly this morning, it kept popping in, I'm in the right place at the right time, I'm in the right place at the right time. And I personally really do feel that. I'm literally house sitting on top of a mountain at the moment, and everything at the bottom of the mountain is flooded. Everything at the bottom of the mountain for hundreds of kilometres either way is underwater. So I'm very grateful for that and very thankful for that, and I really do feel like I am in the right place at the right time. And so are you. So are you. Remember that you are co-creating in this universe. You are a co-creator in this universe. You are never a victim of situations or circumstance. You can say to yourself, I am in the right place at the right time, and you feel it in your heart and you believe it and you know that it's true. And then that becomes the attracting force in your universe, in your world, you know, and so you will always be in the right place at the right time, because that's the order that you've put in to the universe. Do you know what I mean? Manifesting 101, right? I feel like I'm spending a lot of time on the first card, but that's okay. It's important. Transform and unveil your gifts. The last thing they want to say about this card is the bit about the unveiling your gifts, and remembering that you know, they call us light workers, and it is work, you know, standing up for yourself and standing your ground, and knowing what you believe in, even if it's this weird, you know, spiritual, metaphysical, hippy dippy, invisible stuff. And everyone else is like, why don't you get a real job, get a haircut, or whatever, you know. But now is also the time is ripe for you to unveil your gifts, and what they mean by that is for you to hold your light. You know, what they were saying at the beginning about walking with love and compassion and kindness in your daily life. You know, give a random stranger a compliment, you know, like that kind of stuff. All of those little drips. They said something about drips in the ocean, or drips forming a pond, and building up to be a part of the ocean or whatever. So that's what they mean. That's what this card means for us today, about unveiling your light. Step out from under that bushel, people. Step out from under that bushel. Shine, shine. We need you. We need you. It's important. You're important. You matter. This matters. This matters a lot. More than we can ever know is what they're saying right now. More than we can ever know. Sometimes you have a bit of a feeling and a bit of an understanding of the influence that you have, especially in this sort of metaphysical realm. But there's also, if you know this world deeply, you also know that just because you're in human form, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you sort of don't have access to, and you won't until you pass over. And that's kind of what they mean when they say more than you will ever know in this human form. You'll understand a lot more when you pass over and get to sit at the table yourself with the Council of Elders or whoever your team are. Yeah, it's big. And they're pointing out the snake, which is sort of in the background of this card, but weaves all the way through it, a bit like a watermark, I suppose. The everything's connected, and everything is able to be transformed. Everything is able to be transformed into love, into light, into hope, into peace on earth. Good. Excuse me. I don't know why I turned my head away from the camera. It's like when you're coughing and you move the phone, but it's a camera, sorry. Okay. Second card, Mirror Guardian. Take time to reflect. I don't feel like they're going to spend us long on this card. So it's a lovely lady. Oh, it's an angel. She's got wings. She can be a lady and an angel at the same time. She's got a mirror that's reflecting the universe, like a galaxy kind of picture. Take time to reflect. Mirror Guardian. Quite lovely, and she looks reflective and quite peaceful as well. There's great time for stillness and silence and peace this month. Make time for it. It's vital to make time for it for yourself, even if you have a busy household and a busy workplace and, you know, busy social life or whatever. Make time for those moments of stillness. They're really, really important. And they're saying that take time to reflect is essentially the overarching lesson of the whole COVID-19 thing? Are you doing what you want to do in your life? Really? If you are, well done. If you're not, why not? What are you waiting for? Are you with the people that you really want to be with in this lifetime, at this time? If not, why not? Have you surrounded yourselves by friends and colleagues and loved ones that support you and honour you and love you and respect you? And if not, why not? Ponder all these things, dear ones, and make wise decisions, is what they're saying. It really does feel like that pinnacle or pivotal moment, like, you know, when the metaphor of, bushwalking up to the top of a mountain, and do you rush straight down again, or do you stop and you reflect and you go, who's helped me on this journey to get here? What resources have I needed that have served me well? What did I bring that I didn't need to bring along on this journey? And looking forward over the, the beautiful kind of vista before you from the top of this mountain, what do you want to carry forward, into the next phase, into this next, post-COVID, new earth, high vibration, peace on earth reality? What do you personally want to create and bring forward? The time is right. They're saying the time is right. They're reminding of, it's a card in this deck about the harvest, where the woman is eating an apple, or she's plucked an apple from the tree or something. It's that same feeling of the time is ripe. The time is right. So, like in the garden, if you've got to prune some weeds, or pull out some weeds, or you've got to prune some branches, then prune some branches, and plant in your garden what it is you wish to see. It's really important, really important. And you're the only one that has control over that. You are the only one that has control over that, your own personal little garden, your little patch. What's in that? Is it full of weeds from 20 years ago? Is it overgrown and bushy and scrabbly? Is it beautiful? Is it ready to harvest? Does it need a bit of work, but it's doing well? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, have a look at your sort of own, your own garden, the sandpit of your life, and who are you allowing in there to play, and who are you allowing in there to support you, and what are you allowing to breathe within that? That's really interesting. What are you giving? Show me, like, the sort of old-fashioned, I don't know if they're old-fashioned, but bellows to stoke a fire. What are you allowing to breathe? So what are you giving focus to? What are you giving life to? What are you giving attention to? What are you giving breath to? So the words that you speak and the thoughts that you think are really important, vital, they're saying, vital to pay attention to, particularly this month of March. Peace. Peace in your heart, peace in your words, peace in your world. It's really important. Okay. And this last card, I kind of chuckled when I drew it. It's the same card that I drew last week when I did the weekly card reading on Facebook and Instagram. Mountains, stand your ground. Stand your ground. Beautiful mountains. And again, there's that reflection, so as above, so below. Stand your ground, mountains, and 3 lovely stars. It's funny, I don't know this, I'm still learning this deck. So sometimes when I draw them for you, I'm looking at them as well. And then sometimes when I look at the video to edit it, I'm like, oh, I can see that in the card that I didn't even see. And so I didn't mention it because I didn't see it. But they point out the things for each card that's important. I'm just asking them what else they want to say about this before we finish. They're being a bit cheeky. They're saying, read what I wrote last week. So when I'm doing those weekly card readings, I'm channeling. I'm just writing channeling, not speaking channeling. So whatever it is that I write, just a little paragraph or a few sentences for each card each week, it's channeled, it's from them. It's not me making stuff up, and it's not me pulling information from the booklet, which I could do, and I'm sure there's very lovely words in the booklet that come with the cards, but what I'm writing with the weekly card reading is their words, their interpretation, I suppose, of the meaning of the card, or their expansion. They're not saying interpret, they're saying expansion, their expansion of the message for the card for that week for you. So yes, whatever we wrote last week is still valid. I can't actually remember what they said. But I do know when they were talking at the beginning, they did say something about standing your ground, and I kind of chuckled to myself and wanted to hold this card up, but I didn't want to interrupt that channel. Yeah, they're just reminding us of that phrase from last month. Stay in your light, stand in your light. Stand in your light, stay in your light, stay in your light, stand in your light, stay in your light, stand in your light, stay in your light, stand in your light. Just want to keep repeating it again. Yeah, pretty much this is summarizing everything we've just said for the last 20 minutes or whatever. Whatever, gangster time. 30 minutes looking at the clock. Yeah, stay in as much love and kindness and gratitude and peace as you can. Turn off the news if it's getting too much for you. Take a break if you're in the middle of turmoil, even if you go for a walk around the block or take a shower, or sit in the toilet for 5 minutes. Just get any peace that you can, as much peace as you can, and silence and stillness, and that will help you balance. See that kind of as above, so below. So as peaceful and grounded and compassionate and loving and kind and flexible as you can be in your life, it's going to show and radiate out, and people might get annoyed with that and go, why are you so peaceful? Because I'm so, annoyed. But that's where the stand your ground stuff comes in, isn't it? Like, you should be stressed, or you should be this, or you should be, because I am. It's like, well, no, that doesn't help anyone. That's the opposite of help. If I go down to where you are, if you're stressed and struggling and stuck in drama and competition and all the rest of it, then we're both down there. That's not helpful. The most helpful thing I can do from a place of love is to stay high up on my mountain. I literally am. And it's not ego. It's not I'm better than you because I'm on top of a mountain and you're in the middle of a flood or whatever. It's about being grateful for where you are and sending as much love and compassion and grace as you can to people who are stuck. But at the same time, they're pointing out this circle around this image is keep your distance. So come from that higher perspective, come from the angelic perspective or the star family perspective or the spiritual perspective or whatever you want to call it. Go and do some deeper meditations if it's rocking your boat a bit. But you need to stand. I almost want to turn this upside down so the stars are on top. That's interesting. You can keep your higher perspective. And again, they're reminding us of this eagle and the wolf, but the eagle in particular is known as one of the highest spiritual guardians because it literally flies the highest of any bird on the planet. I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying that. So it's one of our highest symbols of spiritual perspective, the eagle. So look out for the eagles, look out for the birds. Ask for them to come and visit you if you haven't seen them for a while. That's always quite nice, watching nature respond to you. But yes, compassionate action, remember, compassionate action is not about getting stuck in someone else's grief or getting stuck in your own grief or getting stuck in someone else's drama or trouble or turmoil. Compassionate action is about staying out of it, so to speak, energetically, so you're not dragged down, so then you're both in the bottom of a heap. You're sending love and compassion and guidance and all of the rest of it with all the free will in the planet, but you're sending that to others. And what you're doing by doing that is putting that into the field. Yeah, you know about the field, right? I'm assuming you know a fair bit about the way the physics of spirituality works if you're watching this video. Yeah, and so by placing things into the field, then that then can be drawn upon. You know, it's like the feeling aspect of manifestations is the most powerful component of that. And because it's a like attracts like universe, then whatever you put in, you can receive tenfold or whatever fold from. I don't think it's 10. I think it's more than that. They're saying it's variable. 10's just a number that suits humanity, because we've got 10 fingers and 10 toes. That's quite funny. They're laughing at that. I think that's really funny. Yeah, compassionate action is really powerful. I've talked about it before. Have a look on my website, truenorthspiritmedicine.com, and there's a useful resources page, and I've listed, linked a whole bunch of Kryon. We know about Kryon, right? If we don't, we should. You, that is, not me, I know. A whole lot of Kryon links, and one of them I've got some little notes and little asterisks beside it saying compassionate action. The best thing to do, because I don't want to spend 10 minutes explaining it, because I've already gone a bit longer. Sorry, I'm scratching my foot on the table. I forget that you can see everything. Sometimes I think I'm on the phone. Yeah, have a listen to that. Best thing to do is listen to that explanation of compassionate action from his own words. And Kryon, of course, is very high vibration channel guidance, coming through an American guy called Lee Carroll. He's been doing it for 30 years. I've been accessing it for 20 years, 21 years. Very accurate, high integrity, worth it. But yeah, compassionate action is really important, really important. This month in particular. So sending as much good vibes as you can. That's bad grammar, but you know what I mean. But staying sort of out of it emotionally, essentially, is what it's all about. Staying out of empathy, because empathy can be too heavy on your heart, and that's not what's needed. What's needed is to stand your ground and be the lighthouse that you are. The lighthouse that you are. Shine on, you crazy diamonds. That's a bit cute. Okay, so last thing, and it's interesting, Kryon came up. I do have this, it's a pretty special deck. They don't print them anymore, and I managed to get hold of some. They're the original Kryon cards. It says Inspirational Sayings from the Kryon books, channeled by Lee Carroll, and it's a pretty old deck. Well, in our modern lingo, it's you know, probably 20 or 30 years old. I don't know, I haven't checked the print date. But anyway, I felt like I wanted to draw one for you today. And these ones have sort of background images, but it's the words. Sorry, I'm scratching my foot again. Spiritual, the card says, spiritual reality states that you are never alone. You are indeed here with us, and all else is an illusion. There is so much love within this process. Do you understand the honor we have for you? I wasn't even sure if I was going to use this card. Like, I drew it for this reading before we started. I've had it sitting there looking at me the whole time, but I wasn't sure if I was going to show it to you or read it to you. But it's quite nice, I think. It's a really beautiful and timely reminder that you are never alone, ever. It's impossible. You've just got to remember to ask. Show me the love, show me the support. Show me how to have compassionate action. Show me how to shine my light. Show me how to, show me, please show me. And thank you when it appears. Sorry, that's a one-handed namaste. Doesn't look the same, but sorry. Yeah. So much love. So much love. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Yeah. I try to keep these short, and sometimes that just doesn't work. They've got a lot to say. So I just need to get over that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thanks to those who have supported me and helped me fan my flames of getting my business up and out there in a bigger way. Yeah, it's really important to have people who've got your back, literally got your back. And I deeply appreciate that. Thank you. Feel free to share this video. Feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't already. That just helps the algorithms show it to more people. So, if you think others might benefit, that would be awesome. All right, I'll talk to you next month. Okay, much love. Bye.